pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The reason I still open the meeting now, I'm sitting over here. Our first order of business is to elect a new chairman of the board, and I nominate Frank Ratley.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I'm in.
Now Frank gets to run the meeting. Done it for 2 years, and it's been fun, but it's time for somebody else to do it.
First thing we have is the minutes from the workshop, March 7th. We've reviewed these. I make a motion that we approve them.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye?
The second one is the Selectmen's meeting from Monday, March 7th. Again, I make a motion we approve them.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have the payroll vouchers for the week of 3/12. We have $37,361, which is really the payroll plus the payroll taxes, and then the batch total comes out to $133,763.88 for a grand total of $171,125.17. The batch totals are up over $100,000 because we have 3 checks in there for the 3 precincts for their monthly check, which is about $33,000 each. So the 3 precincts of that $133,000 equal about $100,000. Make a motion that we approve them.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I was in there too. And again, as we've discussed each week, the selectmen do review all of the bills that come in individually, which is what accounts for the amount of money we spend, and we do take time to look at them and make sure that the bills are in line and that they are spent accordingly. Our department heads do an outstanding job on researching these bills and then providing us with justification for them. Next item on the list is a memo to the trustee of trust funds from us, the Board of Selectmen. Withdrawal of the Whittier Covered Bridge Expendable Trust Fund. It's a check to the town of Ossipee. It's a bill we've already paid for $4,022.70. This goes to Hoyle Tanner and Associates, who is our engineering firm overseeing the project. Make a motion that we approve this memo to the trustee of trust funds.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have the Highway Department work log. Anybody who wishes to review it, it's here in the red folder if you wish to. We now have a permanent application for a property tax credit exemption. This is an elderly exemption. It's been passed our assessor, who has signed off that it meets all the qualifications. Make a motion that we approve it.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the list is a request for abatement. The assessor has reviewed this. Says the taxpayer timely filed the abatement for 2015 tax year. The reason for the appeal is he has an opinion, the value from the local broker, that indicates the value of $36,000. And the assessor's argument is I don't agree with the methodology of the realtor used to arrive at the stated value of $36,000. However, after review, I did make an adjustment to this property because of the lack of visibility from Route 16. I would reduce landline 1 by -25 to the account for this. The resulting assessment change should be abated. Revised assessment went from $142,000 to $123,200, difference of $18,800, which gives an abatement of $391.60. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. My only concern with that one was, if I'm reading that correctly, we have a chance, we all get a chance to read everything that's in the red folder beforehand, so it may seem sometimes like we're going real fast, but is what he's saying that the realtor thinks that the value of that is $36,000 and we have it assessed at $120,000?
Yeah, that's correct. I think the question you have to ask yourself is, this is a realtor.
Realtor owns it?
Realtor owns it. So is the
And it was the
assessor?
realtor that gave us that?
Doesn't say that.
Okay.
Where's the property located, just so we have it on record?
It's location 8 would be I give you, location is 833 Route 16. It's 127-001. That would be my
Okay. That got
thought.
That got stuck to something else.
Okay. We have another abatement on this one. The assessor has reviewed it. It says the taxpayer timely filed for an abatement for 2015. The reason for the appeal is the land was listed in the Ossipee Lake excess land zone. These properties do not have deeded water excesses. Recommending to grant. I have changed the land price on the Ossipee Lake water excess, Ossipee Lake 1 back. The results changing the assessment should be abated. Changed it from $46,600, revised as $21,100 on one lot, $33,000 to $28,600 on the second lot, which generates a refund of $614.29. Make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Next item is a permanent application for property tax exemption. This is for a veteran and service connected. The assessor has researched it. The information he provides is recommended to deny it. Regular vet, 6 days active. Denied disability, vet only 10% disabled, doesn't qualify. I make a motion we disapprove this.
I'll second it.
Any in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one's a permanent application for a property tax exemption. This is for a blind exemption. Our assessor has reviewed this. He concurs that it meets the required information, so I make a motion we approve it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next application is for an exemption, veterans credit. Our assessor has reviewed this, and he agrees. This veteran served in Vietnam, and he feels it should be approved. Make a motion, we approve this exemption.
Second?
All those in favor?
Frank, on this one that you just did, it actually had signatures of approval, so I just put,
Yep.
changed that to denial.
He had denial here.
He did it
Yeah.
in his recommendation, but I was concerned
Okay.
that we were actually approving it.
We have another permanent application for property tax exemption. This again is a veterans credit. The assessor has reviewed it, researched it, and he concurs that the person meets the requirement for the veterans credit. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll get the system down here in a minute. We have another permanent application for a property tax exemption. This again is a veterans credit. The assessor has reviewed it. He says it's okay. The guy meets the requirements. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. One more. I have another permanent application for a property tax exemption. This is again is for one of our veterans. It's been researched by an assessor. He again says this person served in the Vietnam era and does qualify. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it?
All those, any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have an excavation tax warrant here, tax to the tax collector. Says in the name of the state of New Hampshire, hereby directed to collect the excavation taxes on the list and herewith committed to you, amounting to the sum of $60.90. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Have a timber tax warrant, again, to our tax collector. In the name of the state of New Hampshire, you're hereby directed to collect the yield tax in the listed herewith committed to you, amounting in the sum of $566.78. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Have a request here for the use of a facility for a birthday party. The date of the activity is 11/13 to 16. It's been approved by the rec director. It's gone through and been scheduled. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a form letter, which is this one that we maintain on file. It's one that we send out to property owners. It just says, as they apply for timber cuts, or they apply for different things. I have one for timber cut, and then I have one here. It's another report of a cut. It's a form letter that we sign. This one says, this our records show you have submitted an intent to cut timber for tax year April 2015 through March 2016. We have not yet received a report of cut of your timber. And this is just a reminder that goes out to people who have submitted timber cuts, just to say, hey, you've submitted it, we have your application, we have nothing that's come back to us that says you've completed your timber cut, and by signing this, we're just giving it to our people so they can send us out without constantly having to come before us. Make a motion, we assign it.
Second it.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
This is another one here. It says we have not received any response to our letter of March 11th. This goes to property owner 2016 regarding your timber operation. You are hereby notified the report of the cuts on your operation must be received in this office no later than 15 May, or you will be billed for the doomage twice the amount of the tax. And again, it's another form letter that goes out to people as appropriate. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just added chairman to your name and struck it from mine, just.
They'll fly today.
Uh-huh.
They'll fly. This is a letter basically of thank you. It goes to a John A. Haley, 791 Neilset Street in Norwood, Massachusetts. It says, on behalf of the town, Mr. Haley, on behalf of the town of Ossipee, we gratefully acknowledge your donation of the parcel of land located at 2 Danville Road, also known as Tax Map 23, Lot 4. The transfer of the parcel was recorded at Carroll County Registry of Deeds on December 28, 2015. We have enclosed a copy for your records. And this is the piece of land that was donated to us at the end of Danville Road. It was a small parcel, and we accepted it back in 2015, actually in August. And we are getting a thank you out to these folks, so we greatly appreciate it. I make a motion, we sign it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Here, I'll let you deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Here.
I have an intent to cut, tax map 062, lot 04, Ossipee Mountain Road. David L. Mitchell, owner. Pearlie Ryder will be the cutter. Taxes have been paid. Make a motion that we sign it.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
This is our MS 232, which is a report of appropriations actually voted on at town meeting. It's a form we have to file with the state of New Hampshire. It just tells them basically what happened at town meeting and what the appropriations were. Make a motion, we sign it.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Last week, we opened the bids on 2 surplus vehicles we had here in town. This is the one on the police cruiser, which was taken out of service. This is a bill of sales. This says, we, the undersigned Board of Selectmen, Town of Ossipee, sell 1 2010 Chevrolet Impala, VIN number to Chicago Motors for the sum of $2,707. They were the high bidder on that particular vehicle. Make a motion that we sign this.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I went the bottom on this one.
Yeah.
This is just a thank you card from the JP Pet Service, who we use here around the town buildings to try to control some of our pests. I'm still successful with it. I have a notice here of intent to excavate. This is on tax map 124, lot 25. Basically, it's down at the Heckle property, Route 28. It's gone through the planning board? Has it? I haven't made a couple of meetings, so make a motion that we approve it.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I think we covered this letter last week. It's a letter that came in from DOT on intersection survey we had.
This is a new one.
This was actually a new one.
It is, because what it's saying is that 2 out of the 3 intersections don't qualify for a road safety audit.
I thought it said that last week too.
I didn't
no?
think so.
I thought it did. The only one that qualifies is Route 16 and Old Granite Road.
Yep.
The other
They don't
two,
think that 171 and 28 is a hazard?
that one's already
That
in
one- that one we-
process.
Oh,
No, that one's
okay.
done. That road safety
The
audit
road
is
safety
done.
audit's done.
Okay.
They'll be going into the engineering part of that, and actually, hopefully, we're trying to get that corrected, but, you know, the state moves at a basically pace of a turtle going backwards. It's my opinion, but this is actually the 171 intersection at the Granite Road down on Route 16. The other two that were submitted was the Pine River Road down here at 16, and the Route 16 Mount Shaw Road. The Pine River Road, it says no required crash data, so no survey. The other one says Route 16 Mount Shaw, within a 10-year planned project and preliminary design will be elevated, will evaluate this location. So they're working on the Mount Shaw Road within the next 10 years.
I guess the only thing I would like to bring up on that one is I'm concerned as to whether or not we supplied them with enough of the data necessary for that 16 and Pine River Road.
That's terrible.
Because I would be amazed if that doesn't have the crash data to support a road safety audit, because, I mean, there's been a ton of crashes, many more crashes there than down at 16 and Granite Road.
We did supply them all the crash data on that, and their criteria was to have 1 fatality or a, what do they call it?
They have.
Basically, short of fatality, be
With
a
a
disability
front end,
type accident. And we thought in the submissions that we had there, one of them was a, debilitating accident down
There's
here.
been some god-awful accidents in that intersection over the years, and
I was
plenty of them.
surprised that that one got turned down, but
Can we ask that that be re-reviewed, to see, I just would be amazed at the number of accidents that have been in that intersection over the year that it wouldn't qualify.
we were looking at that and see if we can,
Want to make Brad a copy of this, Ellen, and forward it to
I
him?
have a copy.
You have a copy already.
I'd be amazed if that, I can't imagine that that intersection wouldn't qualify, because I know there's been more accidents there than there have been down at 16 and Granite Road.
Then I have a report here from Executive Counselor Mr. Kenny, which goes through on what the Executive Council does. Anybody who would like to read it are welcome to. If you need a copy, we'd be happy to oblige that as well. This one's from the Department of Environmental Services. Notice of acceptance of permit application, land resource management. Operation of train bureau permit. This is for the Westwood Shore Campground. Just says, dear sir, pursuant to RSA 541A39, please be advised the Department of Environmental Services accepted an application on March 9th for the permit program of subject property referenced above. The application requests a permit to disturb approximately 709,830 square feet of earth, subject to the property pursuant to the ENVWG whatever. The application is required to provide a copy of the application and plans to the municipality. If you have not received the required information, please contact us. This is the engineering. It's a notification to us. It says, please provide a copy of this notice to all interested department boards and commissions. We done that?
Yes.
everybody's got a copy of it. I'm sure people are aware Westwood Shores is planning a huge expansion. They're gonna be up there putting in many, many more campsites than what they presently have. They're gonna have to go through all the permit processes, DES, the town and state. Right now, it appears it's a go, and I think they may be gonna process it through, but I think they're going from like 200, 250 or something or rather up into 600 numbers.
Yeah, they proposed 650.
They're looking at another 70 docks.
They bought a lot more land up
I thought
there.
they
than
did away with
originally.
the docks.
There isn't an amendment to it, but I don't know what
Well, the state turned down all the docks that were in the river that they proposed.
Yeah.
So this is our notification. Our boards all have it, so all of our boards know and can work on the project.
But even without the docks on the river, at some point, there needs to be a discussion about how many boats can one small lake. So, I mean, how many can they take? I mean, I'm all for, don't get me wrong, I'm all for commercial development especially, but at some point there needs to be a question. And listen, I don't think Ossepee's necessarily been the purveyor of that. When you look at the developments over in Freedom with Totem Pole and
I think that
the bay back, which one am I searching for? The Purity Springs one.
freedom,
Danforth
Danforth,
Bay.
Danforth.
I mean, you know, they
what
put a
happens,
lot of impact on the lake.
I think one of the things, I think there is some impact on the lake, but a lot of these campgrounds have a lot of folks that come in with motorhomes and so forth, and they're not towing boats. Now, what this plan is, whether or not it does that or not, I mean, I visit a lot of campgrounds, and many of them don't, now they may have a plan to rent boats, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm guessing at that, that's an
My
opinion.
question would be more for Route 16.
Yeah.
Traffic in and out, especially that much more traffic on that bad corner where they go in and out. Maybe a hazard, maybe.
That should all be
May
studied,
turn into something else.
should be all
I think
studied
that
within
has
your plans.
enough of an impact to require a traffic study.
Correct.
Yeah,
There-
I
it
would
will
think
before
the
it's done.
state would address that.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is, I don't trust the state to
Me neither.
do sport. I think that our local boards need to have their head on as far as all of those potential impacts, and then make sure that the appropriate state agencies get involved, because I don't have a great deal of faith in 20-odd years of working with them.
And that's gonna be a huge traffic issue. I mean, it really is. 16, I mean, traffic's on 16 now, but now we're gonna have the traffic on Nichols Road, and Brad, that's gonna affect our town roads, and that's a lot of campsites going. The other thing is Westwood Shores are flooded,
Yeah, the whole thing is what.
and the old bear camp can get quite ugly if it wants
I
to from
thought that
time to
was
time.
against zoning regulations.
No.
But
Because it's a camp area.
if they meet all the state regulations and everybody else's, then so be it, I guess. I have a memo here, it's to the Board of Selectmen from an administrator. It says the following are the new proposed office hours for the new board and commission secretary. It'll be Tuesday, 3 to 8 p.m., or till the meeting's adjourned that they're attending on those evenings. Wednesdays will be 3 to 8 p.m., again, until the meeting's adjourned, which would be Planning Board and Conservation Commission and Zoning Board. And then the office will also be open on Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That'll be posted on the websites and the other areas. The other thing I want to bring to everybody's attention, this is a posting that's going out this week for a part-time recreation assistant. This position was approved at town meeting last week. This is a 15-hour per week position without any benefits. The primary role of this position is to assist the Recreation Department in coordination, development, and implementation of programs for children and teens. The person must be available weekdays, during, after school hours, into the early evenings, 3 to 7 p.m., school vacation week, and occasional weekends. Candidates must be at least 18 years of age, hold a high school diploma, GED, college degree preferred. Applicants are available at the Ossipee Town Hall in the Recreation Department. Mail or email application, resume, letter of the interest to Town of Ossipee Selectmen's Office, Recreation Department, position assistant, P.O. Box 67, Center Ossipee, New Hampshire 03814. A background check is required. Application deadline is 4:30, Monday, April 4th, 2016. Complete job description is available at the Ossipee Town Hall Recreation Department office and online. This will also be posted, local newspapers, on the town website. Anybody of any interest, more than welcome to apply. That completes the red folder. Old business. Whittier Covered Bridge.
Nothing to report on that yet. We're still trying to work out a schedule to get the meeting set up for that grievance that we have sitting in front of us there to just come to a decide factor on that.
Is there any contractual restriction on how long that has to be decided?
It was.
That should have been in the contract, that there should be some time frames.
There was a 30-day window from the time that they put the grievance in, which came up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and in talking with Sean down at Hoyle Tanner, suggested I send a letter, which I did to 3G, requesting a 30-day extension on that. And that's where we're sitting right now. So if we get these meetings within the next couple of weeks, we should be in good shape. They did respond back that they thought maybe we would need 60 days instead of 30 days. So all parties are in agreement that we're going beyond that 30-day requirement window that was in the contract. But
So long as that's not beat, you know, we don't get beat over the head with that later on. I mean, because this needs to be resolved.
Yep.
And Hoyle and Tanner gets a good amount of money and has got a good amount of money from the town, and if it's them that's holding up the schedule, then that needs to happen.
And also, we're looking real hard at the beginning of the next phase here. Within, we were talking months. We're actually talking weeks now if we have good luck. So
yeah, because that money is supposed to be released from federal. They said in April was the last thing we got there. So which means that's ready to start rolling for the design work to begin.
So if we can get to Hoyle Tanner and do get this meeting scheduled
Yep.
as soon as possible, and we need to resolve it.
Yep.
Will that be a through road? Will we be able to drive over that?
That bridge will be certified for a 6-ton load limit, which will be the passenger vehicle. We haven't come up with the flow of traffic yet or anything on it, but yes, you will be able to drive over it.
That was one of the requirements in order for it to be eligible for the state bridge aid, it had to be open to traffic.
Highway garage addition, we met this morning with a number of the people. Brad, you,
Yeah, it was a good meeting to get everybody on board here. It's moving forward. They did some fine-tune measurements today on it. They're gonna, once they get the building formally designed, now they'll be able to have all their criteria for the foundation design, which should happen within 2 weeks now. And then we would get ready to go out to bid. And looking at the time frame we talked about there, the building should be in around early July, the steel part, the steel structure itself. And backing that up, we're anticipating the foundation going in around the end of April here, which would give us, the whole month of May to get that in and backfilled and all graded and everything before the building shows up. So the time frame is looking, very good on that, and we look forward to that project moving.
good.
I didn't notice on the picture, did that include the lift in the building?
The
There was
lift
a
is
lift, right?
the lift is a portable, could be a portable lift.
Oh, it's a portable.
It's included in the price.
But it is-
It's all in it.
Including the price, yes.
That's what I was wondering. I couldn't.
Brad, do we have another meeting on that?
Picture.
We have another meeting on it?
On the
Garage?
lift?
On the garage
Oh,
itself.
there will be, yeah. There'll be a lot of meetings going on.
As soon as they get some
So
problems.
we know.
Yeah.
Need to know when they
We'll
have
keep
it.
we'll keep you informed, yep.
No, we're still working on the road safety audit for Route 128, 171 down there. That's the state continuously delays the funding. We have sent letters in with the help of our rep here. Ed's helped us on this. Scheduled to be done, but it's on the eventual express, I guess is the way of putting it. So eventually it'll probably happen. New business, did we resolve the electronic payment issue, Ellen?
No, it's missing from the folder again, isn't it?
That's not in it.
This is amazing.
Or at least if it is in there, I quickly went over
I
it.
didn't see it when I read it earlier.
It just keeps disappearing from the folder, and I'm not sure how. I can go reprint it. If you would like to move on to something else, I will grab it.
Okay. Any other new business?
I got some old business.
Okay. Old business.
Rick is here, and I'm glad to see that Ash is here. One of the things, we've had an ad hoc committee, economic development committee, and I say ad hoc, a group of people met. We have talked about, and I would love to see that committee become formalized. I hope that Ash will serve on it. I know we've talked briefly in the past. Rick St. Jean has some interest. My understanding is Joe Deacon has some interest.
Joe does.
I would like to get that committee formalized. And by formalized, I mean a committee that would then begin to have a regular meeting, take minutes, set goals, just to, there's never any shortage of good ideas in a meeting, but unless those are taken down and written down and you start to establish some goals and stuff, I don't know that you'll ever actually get anywhere. We've talked in the past about having the committee look at issues of zoning, different areas that maybe should be zone commercial that aren't. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that committee could get involved in. So Rick had actually called me this week, and he's interested in being on the committee, which is wonderful. I'd like to suggest that we go ahead and establish the committee. We got two people right here that I think are interested. Let's get them on there. I don't think we need to appoint a chairman or anything else. Let's just start to get some people together with a formalized meeting, then let them elect a chairman and get started.
Do we need to talk to the people who have been kind of running this? I mean, it really hasn't been formal or anything.
The only one that has been, I guess, if there was a de facto head of that previous effort, it was Harry Merrill. I have spoken to Harry. I think Harry is interested in being on the committee. He is not interested in leading it. He doesn't have the time or the inclination, whatever. But so I guess what I'm saying is I'd like to go ahead and form a formal committee. If these two folks are interested, let's get them on it, and then invite anybody who's interested. I don't want to make them have to come here to a meeting to ask to be on. Just simply, supply us a letter of interest and let them schedule their first meeting date, and let's move on.
I'd like to throw my name in the hat, too, Chair.
Awesome. Well,
That would be fine. I mean, to me, the committee would come up with a chair, Ash, and I think you'd do a great job doing it.
I do as well.
But I would leave that to the group. When you get your group together, then you push yourself in for a chair. And I think it has a tremendous amount to offer to the town.
All right.
So you want to make a motion to formalize that letter?
I make a motion, we formalize an economic development committee. I should also add, I think in fairness, we need to invite Pat Jones if she wants to serve on it. I've been critical of the town's economic development efforts for a lot of years, but because we were spending $600 a year, that was it.
Right.
But in fairness, Pat Jones was the only person in this town beating that drum at all. Certainly invite her to participate, but it's gonna take a lot more than one, it's gonna take a lot more than three. I don't know what you guys think, but I would love to see 8 or 10 or a dozen people who really were willing to roll up their sleeves and work. I think you could do really good things. So I make a motion, we formalize a committee.
What's the purpose of this committee other than?
Economic development,
Just to make ideas?
Well, it's a bunch of things, and I don't think they're limited by any one. And I would let them, again, chart their own path and bring to us recommendations. What my thoughts are on economic development, one is zoning. We made some recommendations last year which have already begun to pay dividends by getting rid of the restriction of only one business per lot. That's one. I mean, there are areas in this town that are not zone commercial that clearly should be zone commercial, and they're not. I mean, that's an area that will have to be changed by the voters later on. But when it comes to economic development, it can be simply promoting the town, it can be running ads, there are different trainings which are available which can help, brainstorming with other economic development committees in the area. You're only limited really by your imagination and how much effort you want to put into it. But all of those things, if you really want to talk about lowering your property taxes, the way to do that is with commercial. Period. I mean, that is the way, and never mind the fact that we need to provide good paying jobs to keep people here.
No, I understand, I just.
Yep, but I think you're only limited by your imagination and how much time you want to put in.
You seconded it, right?
I second it. Yep.
Any discussion? Ash, are you and Rick all set going forward with that? Huh? You are?
Yeah, we'll check.
Remember, we do have a budget for this too. It's not a huge
Well, that's
budget.
actually why I was here.
We do
one
have-
of many reasons why I was here today, is
Good.
to find out what that budget was going to be used for.
We have a budget that's made to, once you get your group together, if you need training or you need something, sometimes the state runs a training seminar, or somebody may run a training seminar, which is so much to go forward and actually attend it and stuff. Work with Ellen, please. And
$2,500 in the budget.
Yeah, it's not a lot, it's $2,500, but it
$2,500.
was what we had.
I'll be honest, a lot isn't needed right now. It's strategy and execution.
And anything you need from this board, please come ask. Then we do the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody opposed. And now I have
Thanks, guys.
the missing document. This is the one, this seems to keep on visible paper, I guess. And what this is to get the electronic system going for payments here in town. It says, "We, the Board of Selectmen, governing body of the town of Ossipee, hereby authorize the provisions of RSA 80:52-C1, allowing the tax collector to accept electronic payments. Signed this 14th day of March 2016. Make a motion, we sign this.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Make sure you give this to Ellen so nobody lost.
I will. Under seal.
Any new business?
No.
New business?
I don't.
Open to the public. Any public input? No public input. Any need for a non-public? I don't think there is. No.
There's not.
Nope, there isn't. One more time for public input?
I just have to say, the town meeting on Wednesday night, I thought went fantastic. It was probably the biggest crowd that we have had in years, and I couldn't be prouder of how everything was handled and the amount of people that came out. It was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I'll second that, and I also thought, I felt a great vote of confidence, to be honest with you, from the residents. I think that the budget committee and I believe for a while that when something is recommended 3-0 by the selectmen and 8-0 by the budget committee, that people take a lot of stock in that. And I too thought it was overall a good meeting, a little longer than last year, but we had some issues on there that were passionately felt about, and that's
Well,
okay.
considering the fact that it was done in 2 hours last year, and we knew that there were some articles on there that was going to cause discussion, and everybody was prepared for it, I
Yep.
think it went very, very well, and I am very, very pleased and happy about it.
Thank you. Ash?
So 2017 is a new year for the Water and Sewer Commission.
It is.
Being no more, I guess.
Correct.
I know I have a feeling there was sentiment that was probably going to pass to begin with. What are you as selectmen going to do to prepare? Because 8 months is a short time to prepare the mess that might have been made once you start digging in over there.
The current water and sewer superintendent is working and meeting with Brad on a regular basis. Brad's gonna help them with some of the bid specs and stuff, I think, on a project coming up. I hope that collaboration continues. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. One of the reasons that we, as a board, decided not to try to take it over immediately, which we could have done. I mean, in fact, I think most times would have been done. So we have done some thinking about this. We didn't want to try to take it over mid-budget. So in the fall, which it doesn't sound like, but it's not that long from now, we'll be starting the new budget process in September. So starting in September, we'll be working with the people at the water department and Brad and working on the 2017 budget. We felt it was a clean time to take it if it passed in January. So in a long story, we haven't got a lot to do, I don't think, between now and September, but starting in September, there'll be a lot to do.
What do you see as the biggest benefits of this happening?
Myself, and I'm only gonna speak for myself, I think you're gonna have a lot better transparency than what there has been had. Our meetings, every meeting is videotaped, our meetings, our minutes are complete and comprehensive. I'll be honest, being filmed was a little uncomfortable at first, but there are some weeks as many as 300 people to watch the meeting. And that's a good thing. I mean, for those who don't have the opportunity to come here and talk, at least they are being informed and they are seeing what's going on. So I think that's a definite plus.
Transparency.
Absolutely.
How about in the financial end of it?
That's a difficult answer to the question until we see it.
I think one of the things, Ash, that is going to be looked at strongly is to make sure that this system is there to support the users. I get concerned because maybe there hasn't been transparency in a lot of ways, but there's been money appropriated or collected that is over and above what people think has been collected to help operate this system. I'm more concerned with the people always being there, always having water, always having the sewer available. I don't want to see a system crash. And when this system crashes, all of a sudden you're looking at 350 people with no water or sewer. And I think it needs to have some planning for the future. Where are we going with this system? What do we need to do? What part of the system maybe is not being looked at as needing to be upgraded so that we don't have this crash? What's a reasonable rate for our users to be paying? Because can 350 actually support this system? It's very questionable in my mind. And I think we need to be fair with the people and make sure the system is there running appropriately so that these people will always have, or at least feel secure, that they have water and sewer at the right price, and we, the town, are here as one community working together. And that's kind of where I'm going. And I think the budget needs to be looked at and appropriately put forward. I don't like the idea when all of a sudden there's $60,000 collected that's not visible. And that's used for operation.
Or that there's $227,000 in a checking account.
Yeah, there's a huge checking account out there. You know, those are the things that, if they got that size of a checking account, why are we appropriating a $400,000 operating budget?
Or why isn't that money more appropriately in a capital reserve account?
Right.
So there's a lot of things that can happen. We have a public works department, which is where it really falls into. I really think the folks who are working up there are working hard. We will work with them to try to make this as smooth of a transition as we can make it. We'll try to put a budget together that's realistic, and if there's something there where the user fees aren't quite sufficient, we at least can say to the rest of the town voters, hey folks, you know, user fees are gonna be X dollars, we need another $60,000 if that's the magic number, but at least you know it. It's not being done without the knowledge of the voters knowing they're appropriating that money. So hopefully we can commit and accomplish all that. That's our goal.
And if you're gonna buy a new vehicle, at least it's approved by the people.
That's
Not
right.
just go out and do it.
That's right. Vote on all the rest of them.
Anything else from the public? I know Kelly's over there staring at me because she's gonna swear everybody in here in a moment. Rick?
So where do we stand with the Chico Association there? Is Rick Sager following through with
Yes.
preparing the deed and all that?
Yes.
They actually conveyed to us that night the checks for their balance from their association. It passed with no opposition, and now it would be just a case of transferring the deeds.
Right, okay.
Be a deed transfer.
I think that was a real good deal for the town.
No question.
Awesome.
I think it's a win-win both ways. You know, it's really tough today getting some of the younger folks to commit to some of these organizations and continue them going. And I think this will win for everybody. I'm hoping it will. It's another one we'll look hard at and do our best to put things in place that support our people. That's our goal.
We had 6 or 7 other meetings, and I don't think I met anybody that had anything to do with the association that was under 70 years old. You know, people just aren't there to do it.
That's so we can preserve it. I think it's a beautiful building over there, and
Yeah,
I
the
want
building is in
to
very
I want to
good
see it stay forever and ever, amen, and the cemetery be cared for appropriately as well. So,
Yeah.
any other public input? With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Everybody's here for, Kelly's going to take care of the swearing in of the new elected individuals.
You don't swear at you.
At the